And if you're thinking about it, he is one of the many calendar names in baseball. You've got Luke Easter and Pinky May and Billy Sunday and Champ Summers. In fact, the Tigers had a guy named Winter and one named Summers on the same team back in their early days. So it was not a happy Valentine last night with the Tigers winning 14-0. Here's Lance Johnson to lead it off, and he takes a strike. Well, he's a fine leadoff man. Led the National League in hits last year, led the American League in hits the year before that. Led the league last year in triples with 21. But the Tigers kept him off the base last night. He walked only once, and that was the only time he was on.
Well, just like when he was with the White Sox, he really sets the table for this ball club. And the key is, like they did last night, keep him off the base path.
That one's a little bit wide. Brian Moeller on the mound, young man from Carolina. He's outside with a slow breaking ball to the count 2-2 on Lance Johnson.
Brian Moeller, a sinker ball pitcher, sinker, slider, changeup. Likes to work the corners in and out.
Johnson, it's a ground ball to short. Throws to Clark, and there's one up and one down. Second game of the three-game set, the finale here tomorrow for Buddy Bell and company. It'll be an afternoon game, and then the Baltimores come to town for the 4th of July celebration and the other days surrounding the 4th. Here's Alfonso, Edgardo Alfonso, the third baseman, and he's a good one. Takes a slow curveball one. He had a single and 4 turns at bat in last night's game. There's a strike. Mr. Terry Kraft, the plate umpire, said so. That one's outside. Alfonso's hit safely in the last 9 games. No score when the opening inning, 1 out for the Mets. And that one's down on the way, 3-1 on Alfonso. John Olerud, former American League batting champion, is on deck for the Mets. There's a drive hit to deep left center. Hunter on the run, plays it off the wall. Alfonso going for 2. He's got a long stand-up double.
15 doubles on the season for Alfonso, but Brian Hunter was shading Alfonso towards right field, and look where this pitch is, down the heart of the plate, and that will get you in trouble. And he puts a good swing on it and a perfectly laced line drive between Hunter and Curtis Pride in left field for an easy double.
And John Olerud having a fine comeback here, hitting .323 will be the batter. Man on second for the Mets, 1 man down. And it is a ball outside. Olerud won the batting title, hitting .363 at Toronto back in '93. Remember, he went into August hitting over for 400 that year.
A lot of talk, wasn't there? That can he do it?
There's a ground ball on the right side. Tony Clark backs up, tosses to Moeller covering, and Alfonso takes third on the bounce out. 2 down, and a Met runner in third base. Now the heavy hitting catcher Todd Hundley at the plate. Todd is a switch batter. 19 home runs. Remember, he hit 41 last year.
Only 5'11", 185, but real strong upper body and is an aggressive attack hitter.
It's a ball low on Hundley.
Of course, it's quite an advantage if you can switch hit.
2 out, man on third for the Mets.
A lot of walks, right up there amongst the leaders in the National League.
And that one's outside. 2-0 the count. We're in the opening inning. The game's scoreless, but the Mets have a man at third and 2 down. That man at third is Alfonso.
And this is where you have to be careful against a player like Hundley. You can't give in this situation.
It's high and wide, a ball 3 on the Met catcher. And another ex-American leaguer, Carlos Baeger, will be the next batter. There's a strike called. Unusual situation on the Met roster. No Michiganders at all. Unusual in baseball.
Yeah, it is.
And no ex-Tigers.
That's really unusual.
And the Tigers have no ex-Mets on their team. There's a high pop-up. It'll be a foul ball over near the seats. Here comes Tony Clark, and it'll drift out of play. The wind is coming in from left field. The wind took that ball and blew it out of play.
No doubt about it, because that ball was hit a mile high, and when it first went up, we can usually tell where we're sitting if it's going to go in the seats or not. And I thought at first that was going to be an easy out, but the wind, as Ernie said, took it out of play.
See the breeze coming over those left field stands. That's from the north, which may presage some cooler weather. 3-2 the count on Hundley. Man at third, Alfonso. 2 down, first inning. The game scoreless. Brian Moeller on the mound for the Tigers. Ground ball foul. It's down past the coach, Mookie Wilson.
Well, Hundley has been hot for this ball club. 4 home runs his last 8 games, and he hits a home run just a little over every 12 at-bats. That's really good production.
Still a 3-2 count. There's Alfonso coming down the line from third. Walked him, and the runners are now at the corners for Carlos Baeger. Carlos, another one of the several switch hitters on this team.
Yeah, they've got a load of them, don't they?
Yep.
Carlos very upset when he was first traded from Cleveland, and had a rough time over there, but now has really settled in and doing a good veteran type job for this ball club.
Oh, that was not the first time he'd been dealt off. He started out with San Diego. They signed him when he was only 17 years old out of Puerto Rico. There's a ball low. Good stop by Casanova.
But I think he felt that he was a big part of that Cleveland club, and they kind of broke things up. Surprised a lot of people, but as I said, he's jumped in and now doing a good job for this ball club.
Man at first, man at third, 2 down, no score, first inning. Ground ball to Cruz. He gloves it. The throw to first, and the Mets are out. At the end of a half inning, the game is scoreless. You're watching Tiger Game Night on Pass.
Well, Brian Moeller struggled a little bit, but able to bounce back and make the plays, get the ground out there from Carlos Baerga. All right, the Tigers starting lineup is brought to you by your Metro Detroit Ford dealers. Think Ford first. And here it is. It'll be Brian Hunter to lead things off for the Tigers. He'll be followed by Bobby Higginson, Travis Fryman in that familiar third spot, and then Big Tony will bat fourth. He'll be followed by the DH Bob Hamlin. Raul Casanova doing the catching and batting in the sixth spot. Curtis Pride will follow him. Damon Easy will bat eighth, and Davy Cruz will round out the Tiger lineup batting ninth. For the Mets defensively, it'll be Bernard Gilkey in left, Lance Johnson in center, Carl Everett in right. In the infield, it'll be Alfonso at third, Lopez at short, Carlos Baerga at second, John Olerud at first, and behind the plate, Todd Huntley. And doing the pitching, A real good one. Bobby Jones, 12-4 on the year, 267 ERA, 114 2/3 innings, only 96 hits, 34 earned runs, 34 walks, and 74 strikeouts. He got off to a great start. He won 8 straight starts from April 30th through June 9th. He worked at least 7 innings in 12 of his 16 starts this season. He also reached double digits in wins faster than any Met pitcher in history, and they've had a lot of good ones over there. His last start, a rough outing, 4 2/3 against Atlanta Braves, 11 hits, 10 runs, 4 walks, and 2 strikeouts. He's 6'4", outstanding size, 225-pounder, 27 years of age. He played at Fresno State University, where he was the College Pitcher of the Year in 1991. In fact, that year he was 16-2 with a 1.88 ERA. Took his team to the College World Series and just had an outstanding year. There he is, 12 wins, leads the National League. So you're going to be looking at the top pitcher in the National League as we stand right now, Ernie.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what the Tigers can do coming off that 14-run triumph of last night over the Mets. And here's a man who really did some great table setting for the Tigers, Brian Hunter. He had 4 singles and a walk. No score last half of the first inning. And he looks at a strike. Well, originally the scorer had ruled an error in the 6th inning of a ball hit by Hunter, but he changed that ruling and made it a single.
Right. That's why we said in our opening that he had given up 3 hits, and we found out that they had changed that to a base hit.
Both the errors on each side were taken away and made into hits.
Sure, that made Brian Hunter happy.
Yeah, right. The batters love it, the pitchers don't. Well, you can't please them all. Well, there's a guy who lives in Florida during the winter. Everything's relative.
They'll show up, huh?
Yeah, they'll show up.
Well, I'll be down to see you in Lulu.
All right.
Don't worry.
Cousin Jim, come on down. 2-1 pitch. Ground ball, base hit. Hunter's on again. He just keeps on getting on base. He's on with a big hop single over the head of Alfonso, the third baseman.
Well, I think the key thing with Brian Hunter is put the ball in play. And he has really improved recently, making contact here. He just hits a topper that had topspin on it and bounced over the head of the third sacker, and that's a base hit.
And it'll be Bobby Higginson, who had 3 home runs in the battle last night and knocked in 7 runs. Bobby now has a home run total of 12. There's a long drive to right, might be, and it is long gone. He does it again. A 2-run homer by Higginson. The Tigers lead it 2-0.
Home run of the season. What can you say about Bobby Higginson? The last 2 days have been tremendous. Take another look at this. The pitch looked like it was up in the strike zone, and it was probably off the plate. Bobby went out and got it and hits it off the Bud Light sign just below the overhang in right. That's another Fago home run. Charles Kowalski Livonia wins a free case of Fago, and their favorite charity gets 5 free cases.
And Travis Fryman with a 1-1 count on him. Travis with a 7-game hit streak facing Bobby Jones, and he fouls it away 1-2.
We'll have a series, Bobby Higginson.
Well, he's had 4 home runs in the last 4 official times at bat.
How about that?
And he's knocked in 9 runs over that span. That is production.
I was kidding Bobby before the game. I said, are you still going to talk to us average type people now?
2-2 the count on Fryman. 2-0 Tigers. And it's the full count on the Tiger third sacker. Hit deep to left, and that one might be. It is long gone. A Fryman home run and a 3-0 Tiger lead.
for Travis Fryman, another hot Tiger hitter. That's another Fago home run. Delphine West of Detroit gets a free case. Her favorite charity gets 5 free cases from Fago.
The first 3 Tiger batters have had hits, and they have scored runs. 3-0 Detroit. Here's Tony Clark. Tony with 20 home runs, 70 RBIs. Big curve outside, the ball 1.
4 home runs and 4 at-bats for Bobby Higginson.
Here's a breaking ball over.
And let's take another look at Travis Fryman. He has really been swinging the bat well. This time he hits it to left field, but picking up a lot of hits to center field and right center. Another good piece of hitting by Travis Fryman.
Tony Clark had a couple of walks on a single in last night's Tiger victory. There's a fly ball hit to left. Going back is Gilkey. He'll have room in left field to make the catch, and there's one away.
Bobby Higginson, 4 home runs and 4 at-bats. That's happened, Ernie, 23 times in the major leagues, I'm told. I got a note here. Benito Santiago did it when he was with San Diego. He was the last to do it. Our Jason Hillman give me that information. Thanks, Jason.
Here's Bob Hamlin now. He's a home run threat. He's hitting at .327 with 6 homers. Hamlin DHing as he did last night. And takes a wide one. Tigers have the early lead, 3-0. First inning, 1 out, nobody on. Bobby Jones delivers low, 2-0.
As you can see, Bobby Jones, not an overpowering pitcher. He's a stuff pitcher, moves it in and out, depends on movement and location.
And it is ball 3 on Hamlin. Jones out of California, went to the same high school as Tom Seaver. High pop-up over near third. Alfonso in foul territory. The wind takes it a little bit, and he makes the catch. 2 down in the Tiger first. It'll be Raul Casanova now, the switch batting Tiger catcher. In last night's Tiger win, he hit his 3rd home run. That was his only hit.
Really coming on, I think, Ernie, gaining a lot of confidence each game he plays, not only offensively, but I think defensively. And I think his shortcomings are defensively, and he'll work on those in winter ball, and he's only going to get better.
Here's a strike called on Casanova. 3-0 Tigers. First inning. Pulled a string on him there. Strike 2. There's a pop foul. That one will reach the seats.
What a catch by one of our guys, huh?
Fantastic. Yeah. Bobby Valentine wondering about the American League brand that he used to see when he was at the Texas Rangers.
What happened here, right?
Yeah. Strike 2 pitch. He got him on a high, hard one, but the Tigers take the lead, and at the end of 1, they are ahead of the match, 3-0. You're watching Tiger Game Night on PAX.
Yeah.
What's that?
And welcome back. Time to take a look at gems. Well, that should be very easy. Aggressive pitching. The starting pitching has been outstanding. Don't change anything. Solid defense. They're catching the ball. They lead the American League in defense. Keep playing solid defense. And timely hitting, even though last night everybody got in the act. The important thing is timely hitting, good pitching, good defense, and timely hitting. It's going to win a lot of games. And Tigers have put some things together here lately, especially, I think, with that pitching and defense, Ernie, that I'll tell you, if you do that day in and day out, you're going to win a lot of ball games.
And they've got the lead in this one, 3-0. We're going to the second inning here at the corner. Carl Everett, the outfielder, coming up now for Bobby Valentine and company. We'd like to wish a very happy birthday to a great Tiger fan, Leo Saudian of Harrisburg, Michigan. Harrisville, Michigan. He's 83 years on this date, and we salute him and appreciate the note from his daughter, Lottie of Bay City. 3-0 Detroit. Here we go. The pitch from Moeller's outside, ball one. Everett did not get a hit last night. He had a walk. And he takes a low one, 2-0 the count on him. Fouled away right down below, and the count 2-1. Moeller's won 5 and lost 6 with an earned run mark of 4.41. Fly ball off to the right field, and Higginson puts it away. One up and one down in the Mets second. 3-0 Tigers. Bernard Gilkey, a 206 batter, stepping in. Gilkey was 0 for 5 last night. He pops this one over on the right side of the infield. Tony Clark makes the catch for the out, and they're 2 down. Well, easily came over, but Tony can outreach him easily.
That's right. Yeah, I think Damon even called for it, but Tony has that higher reach.
Here is Husky, Butch Husky, coming to the plate.
Well, you know, that name's apropos. He's 6'3", 245 pounds. So it's a perfect name for him. Good hitter.
If the name fits, wear it.
Had a 278 with the Mets last year with 15 home runs. He's got some power.
Had a couple of hits in last night's game. One of them originally was scored as an error, and they changed that to a hit. So he had a single and a double in 4 turns. Big guy looks at a ball, and the count even on him at 1-1. Tigers in the lead, 3-0. They got 3 in the first inning. 2-run homer by Higginson, and a bases empty home run by Fryman. Husky hits one up the middle sharply, gloved by Easley. Throw to Clark. Good play, and they're out 1, 2, 3 in the Mets second. Tigers bat in the second, still ahead of the Mets, 3-0. You're watching Tiger Game Night on Pass. Well, it'll be Curtis Pride to lead off. The Tigers on top of the Mets, 3-0 in the second inning. And Curtis going for that first pitch. Strike one.
I'll tell you one thing Bobby Jones has is a good curveball. That baby comes up there and drops right off the table.
Pride not in the starting line this evening. Moved him back, 1-1. 3 runs, 3 hits for Detroit, no runs, 1 hit for New York. Interleague play at Tiger Stadium. Chopper up the middle, may get through. Baega makes a good stop, but he can't make a play. It'll be a base hit. Pride starts it off with a single.
Well, just a little tapper over the head of Bobby Jones, and Baerga going far to his right was able to get the ball, but nothing he could do with it because Curtis Pride really gets down the line very well. He wisely did not make a play. Just heard some more information on Bobby Higginson's 4 home runs at 4 at bat. Larry Herndon, our good buddy, was the last to do it.
As a Tiger.
1982. Boy, that was the kid Larry. That was what a nice man Larry Herndon is.
Yeah, he's been a great asset for the Tigers. A man on. That's Curtis Pride. Nobody down. And easily takes a strike. Damian hit his 11th home run last night. Well, the Tigers picked it up where they left off, with a single by Hunter, a home run by Higginson, and the home run by Fryman in the first 3 batters against Bobby Jones.
I tell you, that's good to see that, Ernie, because usually it's the opposite. After scoring all that runs, the next day you're scratching for runs, but they came out of the box hot again tonight.
There's a drive fouled into the left field seats, bouncing all over the place. And a man from Coldwater gets it. Strike 2, the count on Damian. Bobby Jones, 12-game winner, on the mound with the Mets. Ground ball to third, glove by Alfonso to Baega, and double to Olerud for double play. Nice infield defense for the Mets, makes it 2 down and nobody on.
Boy, we're going to take a look at as good a play as you're going to see. Watch his quick hands as the ball takes a vicious hop. He started his glove low and then brought it up. That's why he made the play. A good throw over to Baerga, and they get easily at first base. But when you get you infielders out there, you start your glove down, and it's easier to bring it up than to start it up high and try to get it down. He wouldn't have made that play if his glove wasn't low to begin with.
Here's Davy Cruz looking at ball 1 from Bobby Jones. 2 out, nobody on. The Tigers on top, 3-0 over the Mets. Fly ball hit into left field. It's not very deep. Gilkey drifting over and in, and it's in his glove, and the Tigers are out. At the end of 2, they lead the Mets 3-0. You're watching Tiger Game Night on Pass.
Going camping.
Bobby Valentine has skippered the New York Mets into 3rd place in the National League East. He spent a year overseas managing in Japan, and as we've seen with several ball players, the experience for Valentine as a manager was very beneficial.
I think just the entire new language, being the first manager to do that thing, you know, from the States, to be scrutinized as much as I was, to have a very successful season with a bunch of great guys, you know, that made it a special year, I think. And just doing it, you know, just being able to do a day-by-day thing where every day I felt pretty good about it, and when it was all over, I even felt better.
He learned about being very meticulous, paid a lot of attention to detail, and he has brought that detail to the New York Mets clubhouse. Perhaps one reason why they're chasing the Marlins and Atlanta Braves in the NL East. Guys, back to you.
All right, Mr. Hillman, and we are ready to go in the 3rd with the Mets coming to bat. The Tigers lead them 3-0. And Luis Lopez, another Met switch hitter at the plate, the shortstop, batting .259, and he taps one to Tony Clark, who backs up and takes it all by himself for out number 1.
Ernie, I got a letter from Jerry Charbonneau from Sheboygan, Michigan. He said he heard me say several times that a right-handed batter is a good bunter, both push and drag, and he said he never heard that before. Well, that's been around the game as long as we can remember. A right-handed hitter can push the ball and drag the ball just like a left-hander hitter can. We appreciate your support, Jerry.
Yes, sir. We always like to get those cards and letters. Here's Lance Johnson now, bounced to short his first time, and he takes the ball outside.
And for the most, it's probably a lost art in a way. You know, you don't see many of the fellas do that anymore.
No, they get up there and swing from the heels. There's a strike call, the count even on Johnson at 1-1. Now, Johnson last year not only hit .333, but he had 50 steals.
Is that all?
Yep. There's a little tap foul. He had 35 infield hits.
That'll show you what speed will do for you. And I'll guarantee you a few of those were push bunts and drag bunts. I like the push bunch, you know, where they push it towards second. You know, Brian Hunter, with his speed, will be able to do that, I think, eventually. And drag a little bit more.
Just put it in the right place,
right,
and you got yourself a base hit. Bowler on the mound. And he misses the far corner with that one. The count 2-2 on Lance Johnson.
I always felt if you make the infielders do something out of the ordinary, Ernie, puts pressure on them.
Lance got his start with the Cardinals into the White Sox, and from there to the Mets. 2-2 pitch. Ground ball to short. He might beat this one out. There's a throw to first. Oh, got him. He didn't need enough. Mr. Cruz saw to that, didn't he?
I'll tell you what. We might sound like a broken record. It's only because Davy Cruz is that good defensively. He goes to his right. Lance Johnson can run with the best of him, going full speed, running, throwing on the run, and a perfect strike to Big Tony. I mean, my goodness. We just see that game in and game out.
Yeah, that's a play you figure most shortstops have got to go over there, then set themselves,
Right.
take a little time, and then throw. 2 out, nobody on, and the pitch is over for a strike on Alfonso, who has the only hit for the Mets, a double in the first inning. Got all the way to third, but did not score. 3-0 Tigers. And it is a low one, 1-1.
Alfonso now with a 14-game hitting streak.
Two down, bases empty for Brian Moeller. And he's wide with this one, 2-1. There's a line drive, base hit into left center field, so he is 2 for 2 for the evening. A double and a single in 2 turns.
Well, you can see why he's having a good year. He's got a good, solid, compact swing and doesn't overswing. Just tries to lay the bat on the ball. Line drive hitter, another base hit for him.
And that'll bring up John Olerud for his second trip. The first time up, John bounced to first base. It's a strike on the outside corner. The Toronto Blue Jays had tinkered with Olerud's hitting style a little bit, and I think got him a little confused. And he's gone back to his old style now with the Mets. And it's paid off to the tune of a .320 batting average. And he takes one in the dirt. Good block there by Casanova.
I think also, Ernie, I think maybe they put a lot of pressure on him up there to hit the long ball. And he's not really that type of hitter. He's going to get his home runs like he has 13 this year, but he's a line drive hitter that uses the whole field. I think the change was good for him.
Absolutely. 1-1 the count on him. That's Alfonso at first base. Olerud hits a ground ball toward Easley. The toss to Clark will end the first half to third. And at the end of 2.5, it's the Tigers 3, the Mets nothing. You're watching Tiger Game Night on Pass.
And part of the crowd here at the ballpark tonight. Welcome back, everybody. Tiger Baseball on Pass Sports is brought to you by Shell, moving at the speed of light. And it's good to welcome not only our Metro Detroit Ford dealers, but Shell with us, right?
Absolutely. And welcome, welcome, welcome. And here is Mr. Hunter, who has a very hot bat. He had a single, scored a run in the opening inning, and he starts the bunt and takes a breaking ball low from Bobby Jones.
Done real well against left-handed pitching.
There's a breaking ball outside. 2-0 the count on Bryan. Little chopper hit toward third. Alfonso charges, makes a good play, and Olerud gives him a good pick at first base, and they retire the speedy Brian Hunter. Now, we've seen some good infield work on both sides, Jim.
Well, this Alfonso has showed me something. Of course, we haven't seen very much of him just in spring training, but a swinging bunt by Brian Hunter. And look how quickly Alfonso gets rid of it. Short hop to Olerud, but again, like Lance Johnson, Brian Hunter runs as well, if not better, than anybody. Good infield plays.
Here's Bobby Higginson. He's hit home runs his last 4 official turns at bat. Hit a 2-run homer in the first inning, and takes a curve in for a strike. Oh, that's 13 home runs now for Bobby and 44 runs batted in. And he curves him again. This time it hangs outside, 1-1.
A little surprised that you don't see him maybe pushing him off the plate a little bit.
1-1 pitch. And it is low, 2-1 on Higginson. Bobby Jones, a Californian, a 12-game winner on the mound. Bobby takes a strike. It nipped the inside corner, 2-2. It's even. Tigers 3 runs, 4 hits, no errors. Mets no runs, 2 hits, no errors. We're in the last half of the third. And he looked at 1 too many. Struck him out. Jones racks up his second strikeout of the night. 2 down, nobody on for Travis Fryman.
Well, let's take a look at some interleague notes. The American League earned 53-45. How about the pitching? Better in the American League. And the batting average, a lot better in the American League. But the pitchers, what you would expect, hitting a little bit better for the National League. But American League really doing a fine job.
There's a fly ball to left. Here comes Gilkey. He won't get it. It drops in front of him, and Fryman gets his second of the night, 2 for 2. A 2-out single by Travis. Tony Clark will be at the plate for the Tigers now. They've got a 3-0 lead over the New Yorkers.
Tony loves to hit at home, loves that home cooking, as you say, Ern.
He flied to left his first time in this game.
No, I should say loves to hit on the road. Likes that away cooking.
Here's a ball outside on Clark, ball 1. Breeze is changing. It's coming in more from center and from right now. And he looks. That one's ball 2, 2-0 on Clark. When we first got here in the opening inning, it was coming straight out of left field.
And felt good, too.
Sure did. Now they've turned it around a little bit. It's a wide one, 3-0. Nothing much to swing at yet. This turn it's bat for Tony Clark.
Well, Bobby Jones, curveball, lots of changeups, and a sinker ball.
He's looking, and he's got a 3-1 count. The Hammer waiting his hitting turn. Tony swings, and there's a base hit to right. Fryman holds at second. Up for the ball is Everett, flipping it back into the infield. And the Tigers have a couple of 2-out singles here in the third inning.
Three and 1 count on Tony. You see where the catcher is set up. He tries the sinker ball, but Tony with that good reach, able to go out there and line it into right field for a solid base hit.
That's Clark at first. Fryman at second, 2 down. And Bob Hamlin, who fouled at third his first trip, will be the batter. Tigers in the lead, 3-0. It's the ball outside. Fouled away to the left of the plate. 1-1 on Hamlin. Well, the game story right now is the first inning for the Tigers. Hunter led off with a single. Higginson hit his 13th home run. And then Fryman followed with a home run. That's given the Tigers the lead they hold, 3-0. Trying to get some more with 2 on and 2 out. And the curve is low. Tigers have 3 runs and 6 hits. The New Yorkers have no runs and 2 hits. Final game of the series tomorrow. It'll be an afternoon affair here. 2-1 pitch to Hamlin. And it's ball 3. Casanova waits his hitting turn. Bobby Valentine looking on at Benedict, his coach right in front of him.
Well, good hitters count. 3-1. Look for a pitch in his zone.
And he hits it foul on the left side.
That was probably not a good pitch for him to swing at, but it's so difficult because Jones has that late-breaking sinker ball. It looks like it's going to be a good pitch you can drive and then moves away from the left-handed hitter.
Two on, two out. Tigers in the lead, 3-0 in the third. Now we've got the full count. There's a drive deep to right. It's long gone. A 3-run homer by Hamlin. A 6-0 Tiger lead in the third.
Number 7 for Big Bob Hamlin. And 3 more runs driven in for these Tiger hitters. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. A 3-2 fastball down the heart of the plate. Watch where this pitch is. Boy, oh boy, and he did not make a mistake. Big Bob with that short stride, short follow-through, line drive, upper tank.
Casanova struck out to end the first inning.
That's another Fago home run. Beverly Davis of Detroit gets a free case of Fago. Her favorite charity gets 5 free cases of Fago.
Ground ball foul. Bobby Jones came into this game having allowed 12 home runs. And he's given up 3 in the first 3 innings. The Tigers have put on the home run attack, 9 in game and a fraction.
Boy, that's some kind of hitting.
Strike 1 on Casanova.
Right.
Slow 1-1.
I thought they started in Boston. They really started swinging the bat better after that Yankee series. Gained a lot of confidence.
Foul out of play, left side, a 1-2 on Raul Casanova. Bobby Jones trying to weather the Tiger home run attack here in the early going. There's a strike called, and we go to the 4th inning with the Tigers on top, 6-0. You're watching Tiger Game Night on Pass.
Passport, home of the Tigers.
Line drive speared by Fryman. Oh, my!
Passport, home of the Tigers.
Passport, home of the Tigers, home of the home team.
Sunday, July 27th is a momentous day on Passports. Just before the players take the field, Hall of Fame pitcher Hal Newhouser's uniform number 16 will be retired as the first pitcher in Tiger history to have his number retired. Hal will join the ranks of Hank Greenberg, Charlie Gehringer, and Al Kaline. Don't miss complete live coverage of this special event with Game Night on Pass starting at 12 o'clock, Sunday, July 27th, only on Passports, home of the Tigers, home of the home team.
Todd Hundley leading it off. It is 6-0. Tigers in the lead over the Mets, and he takes the ball outside. Ryan Muller, the North Carolinian, on the mound. The Tigers putting on a home run attack here against the New Yorkers. Ground ball foul. Scatters him in the Met dugout. And the count on Hundley, 1-1. Hundley, one of those great hitting catchers. There's some good ones now. When you look at the averages of Sandy Alomar, Mike Piazza, Ivan Rodriguez, all hitting around 350. Hundley with that 19 home run total. It's a wide one.
Well, you like the way he attacks the ball. He is an aggressive hitter, and that's what you got to be up here to be successful.
Outfield deep and straight away on the switch batting catcher. And he pops it in the air, foul. It'll be out of play. Well, the catchers historically have not put up the big high averages. The highest average of any catcher is Bill Dickey back in 1936. He hit 362. Did not win the batting title that year.
362?
Mm-hmm.
Baby.
And Chief Myers of the old New York Giants was second with 358. 2-2 pitch to Hundley, and he struck him out. That's the first strikeout recorded by the Tiger pitcher Moeller.
Well, when you can make a pitch like this on an aggressive hitter, it's a good one. The straight change had Huntley way out in front. You see him pull off the ball, but good motion from Brian Moeller that time, completely fooled the hard-hitting catcher.
Now the former American leaguer, switch batting Carlos Baeger at the plate. And Carlos hits one up the middle. It goes easily. He can't get it. It's past him. A base hit for Baeger, makes a turn and holds it first. That'll be the third hit for the Mets. Alfonso has a double and a single, and Baeger has a single.
Carlos Baeger has done a lot of playing here in Tiger Stadium. A ground ball just out of the reach of Easley at second base, but I remember a game here, Ernie, when he was with Cleveland, hit 3 home runs.
Well, he's got power from both sides, no question about that. Here's Everett, the right fielder. The 262 hitter, the infielder double play depth against him. Tigers in the lead, 6-0. It's a ball outside.
Everett now 2 for 12 on this road trip. Loves to hit at home.
Moeller trying to get his record even. He's 5-6 right now. Delivers outside. 2-0 on Carl Everett. Tigers won the opener last night. They lead in this one 6-0. The finale will be here tomorrow afternoon at the corner of Michigan and Trumbull. It's Baeger at first base. Fly ball hit into rather short left center field. Curtis Pride puts it away. That'll make it 2 down. Gilkey will be the batter now for the New Yorkers.
Well, you can tell already that Brian Moeller feels a lot better. Nothing, out homered him 9-0, and as we said, this is a good Met ball club playing real well, but Brian Moeller has completely turned it around from his last outing. His last outing, he was tentative, not following through on his pitches, and Rick Adair, working with him in between starts, has him really following through and pushing off the rubber.
Gilkey takes a ball outside the breaking pitch from Brian. Tigers got on the board in a hurry, picking up where they left off last night. 2-run homer by Higginson and the home run by Fryman in the first inning. Then a 3-run homer by Hamlin in the third to establish that 6-0 lead. 1-1, the count on Bernard Gilkey. Breeze is now coming in from right field. That's out of the east. Pop up out in that direction toward right. It's not very deep. Here comes Higginson on the run. Makes the catch. And that's all for the Mets in their 4th inning. The Tigers bat in the 4th. They lead New York 6-0. Let's go back to John Katie.
All right, Ernie, thank you. It's update time back in our game night studios. It's a matchup of the bests in the Wests. The Western Division leaders in the 2 leagues meeting tonight at the Kingdome. The Mariners have won 8 of their last 10. The Giants, one of the surprises in all of baseball, 3.5 games up on the Rockies in their division. To Seattle we go, where they are big fans of Jose Cruz Jr. right down to his feet. And the Giants' William Van Landingham yelps, "Darn." Not talking of socks. Cruz with a blast over the center field fence. Just moments ago, Cruz added another 3-run homer. The M's lead San Francisco 9-1 as they play now in the 4th inning. In Toronto, where the Blue Jays celebrated Canada Day by wearing the worst-looking uniforms this side of the game night softball team. The first non-American baseball series continues. Roger Clemens going for his 13th win. As they would say in Wayne's World, denied. Rondell White with a homer off Clemens, who was outpitched on this day by Jeff Juden. Juden had a no-hitter in this one, but the no-no was broken up by Sean Green's 7th-inning homer. Juden would battle back, and he would ring up 14 strikeouts this day. Montreal beat Toronto 2-1. To Chicago, where we believe we may have found a bad hot dog.
The young man.
The Cubs home to the Royals this afternoon. Sammy Sosa, he of the new $42 million contract, picks up Brian McRae with a double into the left field corner. Chicago pulling away from KC with 4 runs in the first inning. Sean Dunston will lift a single to right. That will plate Mark Grace and almost Sosa. Cubs went on to beat Kansas City 6-1. Tigers all over the Mets at this point. Let's see if they can add to their lead as we go back to the corner. Back to Ernie and Jim.
Back at the corner. And Curtis Pride will lead it off. Curtis had a single in the second, and there was a race and a double play. Home runs have powered the Tigers to their 6-0 lead. 2-run homer by Higginson. The bases empty home run by Fryman in the first. Then a 3-run homer by Hamlin in the third. Bobby Jones on the mound. Delivers to Pride, ball 1.
Ernie, if this keeps up, I know there's a long way to go yet, but the Mets got to go in and say, wait a minute, where are we anyway, you know? Because they came into here, came into Tiger Stadium playing really good ball.
And they're probably saying, we heard about these short American League parks. There's a strike called on Pride, a 1-1.
But they are a good young ball club, and Bobby Jones, a top pitcher in the American League this year.
1-1, that's the count on Curtis. One ball, 2 strikes.
Well, he's got a dandy breaking ball.
Cookie Rojas was telling me how much this young man's matured over the last couple of years, that he really learned how to pitch.
Yeah, he's had a rough outing here tonight, but you can tell when he's got his command of his pitches that he's got so much movement on all of them that he can really be tough.
There's a line drive right to the glove of Baega at second base for the out. Pride is down. Ball in hard, but directly to Carlos Baega. Cloudy skies. We've had a little rain off and on in the area all day long.
I was up in Ann Arbor today with Jeff Daniels, the actor. He had a golf outing up there, and it didn't rain up there. Some nice people up there, too. Great people, great Tiger fans up there, Ernie. You and Al Kaline and I have been to his theater in Chelsea.
Oh, yeah. Fantastic.
Wasn't that a great night?
We had a great time out
there. The outing today was for the theater throughout the state of Michigan. It was a good day.
And you got to ride home. There's a fly ball hit into left. It's deep. Gilkey going back, and he
can't make it out of here.
And it is out of here. Another home run. This one by Easley.
Four home runs tonight, 6 last night, and the beat keeps going on. Number 12 for Damian Easley. This a towering drive off the bat of Easley. Boy, he got the bat head out in front, put a good swing on it, but had to wait so long as we take a look at Gilkey diving as high as he can, but just out of his reach into the fan stands. Lower left field deck.
Boy, he didn't miss it by much, did he? Cruz at the bat now, strike 1 on Davey. And it is a cut and a miss on a slow curve from Bobby Jones.
That's another Fago home run. Jay Levine of Detroit wins a free case. Her favorite charity receives 5 free cases of Fago.
7-0 Tigers, all on home runs. Line drive, 1 hopper off the glove of Baega. And the Cruz will be safe. We'll wait for the official score on that one. It is scored as a single. Well, that will give the Tigers their 9th hit.
Davy Cruz waits on this pitch, and a hard shot, and in between hop for Baerga at second base, and unable to make the play, and that's another base hit for the Tigers, and they continue to swing the bat. Corey Lytle in the bullpen for the Mets. Well, when you have your ace gone, you certainly want to go as long as you can with them, but it's been a tough go here tonight for Bobby Jones.
Well, he'll be facing Brian Hunt, who's had a single to bounce at third. Talking to Brian before the game, he said that his sister, who ran in the Olympic tryouts, she was a sprinter out at the University of Oregon, helped him a lot with his running.
Right.
Taught him how to get a big jump, how to get started. There's a pitch in too close.
And Jerry White, first base coach, also the running coach here, does an outstanding job with the Tiger ball players.
Hunter with a single to the bounce to third. It takes a slow curve from Bobby Jones, 2-0. Hunter said that when he was a youngster, he really was thinking more about basketball than he was baseball. Man on first. That's Cruz. And Brian gets a strike on the outside corner, 2-1. Tigers in the lead, 7-0. 3 in the first, 3 in the third, 1 in the fourth. Everybody with a hit except Casanova. He's been up twice and struck out each time. There's a strike call to make count even 2-2. Only Tiger with 2 hits is Travis Fryman. He's had a home run and a single. Bobby Jones on the mound trying to hang on. 7-0. Tigers lead them. A little loop hit back to Baerga. He'll make the play easily. And that will bring up the long ball hero of this series, Mr. Bobby Higginson. Bobby with 4 home runs plus a couple of walks. And then the last time up, he took a called third strike, the only time they've retired him in the whole series. A great night last night for Bobby. 3 home runs and 7 runs batted in. And he hits a foul out of play. One of the great performances in baseball happened in the minor leagues. A fellow named Gene Rye had the biggest inning a batter has ever had. He had 3 home runs in 1 inning and drove in 7 runs in a minor league game.
3 home runs in 1 inning.
In the Texas League for Waco.
How many runs did they score that inning? Oh, my goodness.
They scored 18 runs in that inning.
Wow.
And Waco beat Beaumont 20-6. 3 home runs. He's the only guy who's ever done it. 3 home runs in 1 inning.
Glad I wasn't catching that.
Al Kaline hit 2 in 1 inning.
He's hit 3 in a game, too.
Oh, yep.
Yeah. Number 6 has done it all.
7-0. Tigers on top. Higginson at the plate. He's had a home run and a strikeout tonight. That's a pop foul that may reach the seats over on third, and it does upstairs. Bobbled by an upper deck outfielder.
Well, Ernie, just talking about what a great night he had last night. Continued it here tonight. 3 for 3, 3 home runs, 7 runs driven in. 2 of those 3 home runs off left-handed pitching.
Strike 2, the count on Higginson. And he takes it in close. Moved him around a little bit.
Well, like I said earlier, that doesn't surprise me when hitters are hitting the way they are. You know, once in a while, you got to move them around a little bit, and that was a good purpose pitch.
1-2 pitch to Bobby. Ground ball hit to Baerga. He'll flip it over to first, and that retires the Tigers in the 4th inning. At the end of 4, it is Detroit 7, New York 0.
Of Michigan, the Dumar Celebrity Tennis Classic Go ahead, Ernie. I'll finish this.
Well, there's a little pop-up off the bat of Husky. It's going to be Tony Clark to put it away in foul territory.
That Dumars Tennis Classic will be Saturday, July 12th, live at 4 o'clock, only on Passports, home of the home team.
Are you a tennis player as well?
Well, that used to be my sport. So my ankle went flat, but I used to play tennis every day, and if you remember those years, I was nice, slim, and trim, and now I'm kind of bulked up. But tennis was really my sport. I loved it.
Well, here's Luis Lopez, a switch batter for the Mets. The shortstop bounced to first his only time at bat. Moeller delivers his fastball low and away on Lewis. Tigers have Fryman in close at the grass at third base, just in case Lewis wants to lay one down. 7-0, Detroit on top. We're in the 5th inning at the corner. And that one's wide, 2-0 on Lopez. Moeller has allowed 3 hits so far. Ground ball up the middle. There goes Easley, falls down. Throw to first is a wide one. Gets by everybody. Casanova backs him up. The ball hits the barrier, bounces out, and he holds it first base.
Well, we'll wait for the ruling there, but I think it would be a base hit because Damien able to make the play, but then he slipped, his feet came out from under him, and then probably shouldn't have made the throw, but tried to get him at first base. There you say he made a good play, and nothing you can do about something like that. But you youngsters out there in a situation like that, you should probably hold on to the ball because he really had no chance to get the runner. And thank goodness Casanova, as catchers do, backing up the play, able to track it down then, and the runner has to hold it first.
Well, Lance Johnson, the leadoff man, is still without a hit in the 2 games, steps up now. The infield in double play depth, and the 2 fleet runners in the situation for the Mets with a man on and the man out for Johnson. He takes a ball outside. Ball 1 on Lance. 2 hits for Alfonso, a single by Hager and a single by Lopez. That's been the yield so far off the right-hand slants of Mr. Moeller. Tigers on top, 7-0 in the 5th inning. There's a pop-up into short left. Here comes Pride digging. He's got it. That'll make it 2 down. And bring up Alfonso, who has a double and a single. Well, we don't have to worry about this tonight, but the Mets engaged in a game at the Jerry Park in Montreal one time that had to be held up because of sunshine. In the 3rd inning, the low uncovered stands, the sun was directly in the first baseman's eyes. They called the game for about 10 minutes and then resumed when the sun went down below some helpful clouds.
Don't remember that.
Everything happens.
Never heard of that one before.
Nope. Delayed because of sunshine. Well, here's Alfonso, 2 for 2. He's been a tough man with that bat. He takes a strike.
He's a good-looking ball player, defensively and offensively, and batting .321.
Tigers with 7 runs, 9 hits. The New Yorkers have no runs and 4 hits. Fouled away. That'll be in the seats to the right of the plate. Breeze has about died down here, Jim. It was coming in.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. I think it did cool off a little bit, though, which was welcome.
Don't forget, folks, day game tomorrow. You folks who like your games in the sunshine, come on out. There's a ground ball on the right side. Easley flips it over to Clark, and that's all for the Mets in the 5th inning. Tigers bat in the 5th. They're on top, 7-0. You're watching Tiger Game.
Welcome back. Let's take a look at the scoring summary. It has been all Detroit Tigers once again here tonight. Bobby Higginson, 4 home runs and 4 at-bats. First inning, 2-0 Detroit. Hey, how about this? Travis Fryman gets in the act. Solo shot, 3-0. Still in the first. Now we go to the 3rd. Bob Hamlin on a 3-2 pitch. Drills it out of here. 3-run shot, 6-0. Then Damian Easley gets in the act in the 4th inning. A towering drive, left field. That made it 7-0. That's how we stand right now. New pitcher for the Mets, it is Corey Lytle. Corey Lytle, who is 25 years old, takes over. He is 3-1 with a 4.32 ERA, 1 save, 33 1/3 innings, 3 walks, 24 strikeouts. Young man, Ernie Harwell, born in Hollywood, California, acquired from the Brewers in '96 in exchange for catcher Kelly Stinnett. So Corey Lytle now the pitcher for the Mets.
And he has started the year with the AAA Norfolk, and they brought him up in about the middle of May. Here's a pitch to Fryman, the ball one from Lytle. Travis has a perfect night going. His 11th home run and a single. He scored 2 runs. Here's a strike call, to 1-1 on Travis.
And you know what? Travis all of a sudden is batting .303. Really put some hits on the board up in Boston and continued it here in this homestand.
He fouls this one away in the seats down the back of the plate. Well, Mr. Bobby Jones, the 12-game winner, ran into a buzzsaw here at Tiger Stadium. He yielded 7 runs on 9 hits, all the runs coming on home runs. He didn't walk anybody, and he struck out 3. Travis is looking, and that's a strike. The old Maitre D' from Tennessee, Chuck Merriweather, punched him out.
Part of the problem when you play interleague play, you haven't seen the pitchers as much, and there Travis unable to hold up. That might have been a pitch if he'd have seen Lytle before. He would know he had that type of pitch and able to hold back. But good call by the umpire.
Here's Tony Clark at the plate now with 1 out. Tigers on top 7-0. And a lusty cut, but he doesn't hit anything, and the count strike 1. Tony has flied to left and dropped a single into right field. It's a low one, and the count even from Lytle. Minnesota originally signed Lytle as a non-drafted free agent in '91, but they released him. Here's a tap foul. After that release, Lytle went into independent ball at Pocatello, and then the Brewers latched on to him, and it was from the Brewers that he came to the Mets.
Tony Clark has had a great year, but you look at other things that are really important, and one of them is he's batting .365 with runners in scoring position.
And he looks at a breaking ball over but low.
And that's really one of the true tests of what type of year somebody's having. How do they do with men on base?
Checked his swing on another low pitch, and the count goes 3-2 on Tony Clark. There's the hammer who hammered one in the seats. His last time at about a 3-run homer. All 7 Tiger runs, the result of home runs tonight. Tap foul in the dirt.
Talking to some of the folks in Ann Arbor today, Ernie, they love interleague play. I really haven't heard anybody, you know, really that much against it. They all said they felt it's like a shot in the arm.
I think it's great. I think it should have happened about 40 years ago. Ground ball into second base. Baega over to Olerud, and that's 2 down in the Tiger 5th inning. Bob Hamlin will be the batter. He fouled to third base in the first, then hit a 3-run homer in the third. It was his 7th home run.
That home run he hit was on a 3-2 pitch, and Bobby Jones challenged him down the heart of the plate, and he didn't miss his pitch.
There's a fly ball deep center. Johnson is turned on the run, reaches, makes the catch way back there in Death Valley, and there's 1, 2, 3 for the Tigers in the 5th. At the end of 5, they lead them 7-0. You're watching Tiger Game Night on PASS.
Welcome back, everybody. If you're talking about fans of interleague play, you may not be able to include New York Mets pitcher Bobby Jones among them. In his first interleague start, he was racked around by the Boston Red Sox. Today, he gave up 7 runs on 9 hits to the Tigers. Nevertheless, his manager says this guy is a competitor.
He's one of the real fine competitors that I've ever had. He prepares very well, and he takes his preparation out on the mound. But I think when you talk about a competitor, that's what a competitor can do. He can plan his work and work his plan. When he goes out and does battle against the team, he knows what he's trying to do and usually does it.
We mentioned that he went to the same high school as Tom Seaver. If he's got the same work ethic as Tom Seaver, he will no doubt bounce back from these kinds of performances. Guys, let's send it back to you.
Tigers in the lead, 7.
On 9 hits to the Tigers. Nevertheless, his manager says this guy is a competitor.
He's one of the real fine competitors that I've ever had. He prepares very well, and he takes his preparation out on the mound. But I think when you talk about a competitor, that's what a competitor can do. He can plan his work and work his plan. When he goes out and does battle against the team, he knows what he's trying to do and usually does it.
We mentioned that he went to the same high school as Tom Seaver. If he's got the same work ethic as Tom Seaver, he will no doubt bounce back from these kinds of performances. Guys, let's send it back to you.
Tigers in the lead, 7-0. The Mets come to bat in the 6th inning with John Olerud, their first baseman. John is 0 for 2 for the night. He's bounced to first and bounced to second, pulled the ball on the right side of the infield each time. And Moeller gets a strike over to start him off.
Like what Brian Moeller's doing tonight, Ernie. Getting that ball, and as we said earlier, had problems with his mechanics. Rick Adair worked with him, really pushing off the rubber tonight and following through.
And he gets another strike. A quick advantage on Mr. Olerud. No balls and 2 strikes. Line drive, base hit. That's the way we used to see him hit when he had that great year, 93.
He hit those line drives everywhere, didn't he?
Mm-hmm. Well, the switch batting catcher, Todd Hundley, will be at the plate now.
Well, we talk about compact swings. There's a good look at a short, compact swing, and you see the results. Pretty good way to hit.
Hundley, a fine hitting catcher. He's batting .287 right now. 19 home runs. Not quite the halfway point for the season. And he's knocked in 50 runs. He's the switch batter. Man on, nobody down for Todd Hundley. Tigers ahead 7-0. It's a ball outside. The best lifetime average of any switch hitter belongs to Frankie Frisch, the old Fordham Flash in the National League. He ended up with a .316 batting mark. There's a high fly ball. Hunter in center field, camping under it. And there's 1 on and 1 out for Carlos Baeger. One on and 1 out. Tigers on top, 7-0. It's a ball in too close. Baega's hit into a force and singled.
Well, he loves the home cooking, doesn't he? 345 in
quite a difference.
New York.
Fly ball lifted into right field. It's not deep enough to cause any trouble. Higginson is there. Olerud playing it halfway, retreats to first. Single and a couple of fly balls here in the 6th inning.
If I could give a tip to youngsters who want to be a pitcher, this would be the tip. Watch his leg drive off the mound. Now watch him drop and push. That's one of the ways you generate power. Maybe you don't have a great arm, but by that leg drive and follow through, you can pick up some speed. And you mentioned Tom Seaver earlier, one of the best at that. Mickey Lolich, one of the best at that. Nolan Ryan, some of the great pitchers. Great leg drive, drive and drop.
There's a foul fly off the bat of Everett, and it will drift down into the seats. Tigers in the lead, 7 runs, 9 hits, no errors, and the Mets have no runs, 5 hits, and no errors. Tigers got 3 in the opening inning. 2-run homer by Higginson, bases empty home run by Fryman, added 3 in the third on a 3-run homer by Hamlin, and then got their 7th run on a bases empty home run by Easley in the 4th. Meanwhile, Mr. Mola has set him down, scattered 5 Met hits for that 7-0 lead. Everett is 0 for 2. He's flied out twice. And he looks at a strike. 2 quick ones on him. The Mets have had at least 1 hit in every inning, except the second when Mola got him out 1, 2, 3. That one's down the way. 1 and 2 on Carl. Struck him out. And the Tigers come to the bat in the 6th, still on top, 7-0. You're watching Tiger Game Night on Pass.
And welcome back to our Game Night studios. I'm John Keating. Today, the Nevada Athletic Commission, at least for the moment, suspended Mike Tyson's right to fight in light of that biting incident involving Evander Holyfield. Our Pass Sportsnet poll question tonight: what do you think the Boxing Commission should do with Mike Tyson? It will not surprise you to learn that most of our respondents believe a lifetime ban is in order. One option that we had up there, no disciplinary action, received no votes. Let's go back to Tiger Stadium where Ernie and Jim await. Guys?
All right, John, and the Tigers on top, 7-0 over the visitors from New York, the Mets. And here comes Raul Casanova to lead it off for Detroit in the 6th inning. He is the only Tiger without a hit. He struck out twice and 2 times.
Yeah, and he's been doing so well also. And, unusual for him to strike out twice in 1 ball game.
Corey Lytle on the mound and delivers a strike. Bobby Jones started. Lytle relieved him in the 5th inning. And they got the Tigers out in that inning, 1, 2, 3. Fly ball hit deep to right center. Everett going back, so is Johnson. And
what a catch.
Johnson grabs it on the warning track. He simply outran that one.
Well said. That's exactly what he did, because the second he hit that ball, I think everybody thought that was going to be in there for extra bases, but the speedy Lance Johnson really outran it, and then the old snow cone appeared, but he outran that ball and actually had to wait for it a little bit. That's the kind of speed he has and the kind of jump he gets on the ball.
Now Curtis Pride will be the Detroit batter. He's had a single and a line out to second base. Curtis hits a fly ball about the same direction. This one might be longer, and it is long gone. Another Tiger home run, and an 8-0 lead, all on home run.
Oh, baby. I watched Lance Johnson after the swing of Curtis Pride, and that really said it all. He didn't hardly take any steps towards right center. 2nd home run of the year, and that one is as good as Curtis Pride can hit him. That was a long shot.
Here's Damian Easley, who homered in the 4th inning after hitting it into a double play the first time up, and he takes a ball low, ball 1.
Boy, this is a great shot. Look at the eyes on Curtis Pride. Goes down and gets it, and Look where this ball hits. Boy, oh boy.
That's the ball. He held up on that one.
And that was another Fago home run. Constance Simpson of Ypsilanti gets a free case of Fago. Her favorite charity gets 5 cases of Fago.
Easily taps it foul in the dirt.
Boy, Ernie, Curtis Pride really tattooed that ball.
He sure did. It just kept on rolling out there in the deep right center.
Wow.
Easily fouls this one back and out of play. Five Tiger home runs. Higginson, Fryman, Hamlin, Pride, and Easley. Two the count on Damien. 8-0 Tigers. There's a one hopper hit to the glove side of Aga. Flips it over to Olerud for the second out. The Tigers have left only one runner. They left the man in the 4th inning. A little unusual when you figure they've scored 8 times.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Well, Buddy's enjoying this series. He didn't enjoy the first go-around in interleague play, but this has been a lot of fun so far.
Now, Davy Cruz at the plate. He's flied to left and singled. And moves back a little bit on an inside pitch.
Why pick on Davy? You know? But as we said, you know, that's all part of the game. Surprised we haven't seen a little bit more of that.
There's a wide one in the count, 2-0 on the Tiger shortstop.
You know what Davy said, though? Why me?
Down the ball, hit foul down past third. Now, the first manager of the Mets, remember, was the great Casey Stengel, who managed in the Major League 9 years before he won a pennant. And then after that, he won 10. So it was famine and then feast for old Case. Ground ball hit the third, and that'll go foul. Well, when Casey was managing the Mets, he called the bullpen and said, get Miller ready. And the bullpen coach said, we got 2 Millers. And he said, well, get Bob Miller ready. And he said, we got 2 Bob Millers. Which one do you want? Casey said, he surprised me.
That's Casey, wasn't it? That was Casey.
Surprise.
Oh.
2-2 on Davy Cruz. Oh, it's a wide one. Tigers in the lead, 8-0. They've got 10 hits. The Mets have 5. No errors in the game. That's Hunter waiting on deck, and there's a strikeout of Cruz to end the inning. At the end of 6, Detroit 8, New York 0. You're watching Tiger Game Night on TAN.
Welcome back, everybody. Now, Game Night on Pass is brought to you in part by Fago. When was the last time you had a good slug of Red Pop? Remember, for every home run hit by Detroit's team, there's been a lot of them lately, you can win a free case of Fago and 5 cases for the charity of your choice. Pick up an entry form at your local Fago retailer, then watch Passports for another Fago home run. They're 10-2 games. Lots of Fago going out.
Well, here we go now. The Mets coming to bat in the 7th against Brian Namola. And there's a high fly ball slicing down the right field line off the bat of Gilkey. It'll go into foul territory in the seats. The Tigers won last night 14-0. And they lead the Mets in this one 8-0. There'll be a finale here tomorrow in the afternoon, and we hope you'll be out at the corner. The Mets have 5 hits off Bryan. They've had 1 in every inning except the second. Here's a breaking ball wide, and the count even 1-1. Alfonso has 2 hits. Olerud 1, Vallejo 1, and Lopez 1. Cut and a miss by the veteran outfielder.
Well, a little bit like we said earlier, Ernie, about JT, kind of went a little bit unnoticed. Brian Moeller tonight has really been outstanding, and this is a good Met ball club. scattered 5 base hits.
1-2 the count on him. There's a ground ball to Cruz. Over to Clark. He got him. 1 up and 1 down. So far, the Mets have all singles and 1 double in this game. And last night, they had all singles and 1 double. Here's Butch Husky, the aptly named DH, with a bounce to second and a foul to first. There's a strike. DHing is just as new to the National Leaguers as pitchers batting is to the American League.
Right.
They've got to get used to it when they come to the other league's park. Ground ball hit foul over toward third. I think most of the veteran DHs learn to go back in the clubhouse. They look at a little television. They rest. They swing the bat. They maybe do a little bike exercise.
And the new ballparks, they actually have live batting practice that they can go to.
Sure,
yeah,
right.
During the games with the new ballparks,
and
right behind their dugouts.
And they've got the videotapes too now. They can put on between the turns of bat if they want to. There's a line drive to right. Higginson makes the catch. Right to the glove of the Tiger right fielder for the second out. It's pretty neat, Jim, when you can record your first time at bat, then go in before the next one, take a look at it, see what the pitcher threw you, how he handled it, how you handled it, what you were doing wrong.
Absolutely. Who is it? Tony Gwynn, who is really big on that. In fact,
he takes his video with him.
He said he's never made a perfect swing. My goodness. What's he batting this year? 390 or something?
Pretty close. Around 400. He's always up around that. He takes his VCR on the road with him.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Tony Clark did that in the offseason a lot. Look what he's done this year. It really helps.
Here's Lopez looking at ball 1. 2 out, nobody on for the Mets. The Tigers lead them 8-0. Fouled away, and they count 1-1 on Louis Lopez.
In fact, teams have full-time video folks, and some of them even travel with the ball club with their video equipment.
It's a long way from the start when Lou Fonseca was the first man to take movies of baseball games back in the 30s.
Oh.
Ground ball wide to first. Tony Clark backhands, now throws to Mola. Race for the bag. Won by the Tiger pitcher, and they go 1-2-3 in the Mets' 7th inning. Tigers bat in the 7th. They lead it 8-0. You're watching Tiger Game Night on Pass.
Welcome back. It is now time for the 7th inning stretch storyline, brought to you by the Inside Track at Ladbroke DRC, Michigan's finest state-of-the-art simulcast facility, open 7 days a week from noon until midnight. Well, the ace of the staff for the Mets, Bobby Jones, didn't have it tonight. 4 innings, 7 runs, 9 hits. Brian Moeller doing a super job tonight. 7 innings, only 5 hits. Detroit with 5 home runs here tonight. Well, some changes for the Mets. The new third baseman is Matt Franco. Franco now takes over at third base. New pitcher Juan Acevedo. Juan 0-0 in the year with a 2.16 ERA. He's only pitched 8 1/3 innings, 2 walks and 7 strikeouts. He's a big one, 6'2", 218-pounder, 26 years old, from Juarez, Mexico. Didn't play baseball for his first 3 years after high school. Pitched in '95 with Colorado, 4-6 with a 6.44 ERA. Last year pitched with Norfolk AAA for the Mets, 4-8 with a 5.96 ERA for them. So Acevedo now takes over for the Mets. Well, what a great line score once again here tonight at Tiger Stadium. 0-5-0 for New York, 8-10-0 for the Detroiters.
Well, it's been the old home run story again, Jim Price. The Tigers scoring all 8 of their runs on homers, following up a big home run attack last night when they won 14-0. Brian Hunter has been a great table setter in this series. Well, leading off, he started the game with a single. The next 2 times he bounced to third and popped to second. And Acevedo ready to go to work, the big right-hander. delivers. Here's a line drive to left by Brian Hunter. He greets the new pitcher with his second hit. The Tigers have had a hit in every inning except the fifth when the reliever Lytle got him out 1, 2, 3.
Well, the Tiger hitters are in one of those streaks. It doesn't matter who they're pitching, and they're up there making good swings.
Now, Bobby Higginson hit his 13th home run with Hunter at first base in the opening inning. Struck out in the third, bounced to second in the fourth inning. Bobby's 1 for 3. He joined that illustrious list of Tigers who have hit 4 consecutive home runs. Hank Greenberg, Charlie Maxwell, and Larry Herndon. It's a ground foul. 1-1, the count on Higgy. Eight runs, 11 hits for the Tigers, no runs, and 5 hits for the Mets. We're in the 7th inning. Bobby looks at a curve from the reliever in the count 2-1. The Tiger home runs by Higginson, Fryman, Hamlin, Pride, and Easley. That's a total of 5. Last night they had 6, 3 of them by Higginson. They hit the sharp liner down to the Met bullpen. 2-2 the count on him. Takasha Kashiwada, who saw service last night, tuning up again. High fly ball back into short left field. Gilkey camping under it. Higginson is out. Hunter's still at first with 1 down, and that'll bring up Fryman, who had a home run and a single and a strikeout. Travis pulling his average over the 300 mark. Right now he's at 302. Infield and double play depth against him. It's a ball low on Fryman, ball 1. Hunter on at first base. Draws a throw.
Well, I'll tell you, down 8-0. I would be surprised if Brian Hunter would be going, especially after the beating the Mets took last night, and that'd be a tough call, Ernie, I think, in this situation.
Yep, it's always been sort of a code in that direction. Here's a strike call. Chuck Canner broke that code to some extent when he was out in Oakland, let him run all the time.
Yeah, I'm kind of from the old code, I think. It's adding insult to injury sometimes.
1-1, that's the count. There's a line drive right to the shortstop Lopez. Throw back to first, double play. Hunter doubled off, and we go to the 8th inning with the Tigers on top, 8-0. You're watching Tiger Game Night on Pass.
Every guy that I face, I feel like I can get out. He wants those RBIs as bad as anybody. I want the out as bad as anybody. You just got to trust your stuff and go at them. Mix it up and keep them off balance as much as possible. I'm not going to say strikeouts aren't fun. I just listen to that little voice that comes in, says, do this, I do it.
Welcome back. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Detroit Tigers and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form without the express written consent of the Detroit Tigers. Well, Brian Moeller, going into the 8th inning, has just given up 5 base hits, and he has worked out any kinks or any problems he may have had during his last start and has just run an outstanding job here this evening against the Mets.
Well, he'll be pitching to the leadoff man, Lance Johnson, and the Tigers have curtailed Mr. Johnson's activities pretty well in this series so far. He's 0 for 3 in this game. Always a dangerous man up there at the plate, especially in that leadoff spot. He takes the ball outside. Here's a strike. Mr. Kraft said so. Count even on him, 1-1. The Tigers have 8 runs, 11 hits. The Mets have no runs and 5 hits in the 8th inning. Johnson, it's a little fly ball to left. Here comes Pride. He's got it on the run. Now Franco will be the batter. This will be his first time up. This is Matt Franco. They've also got a John Franco. Matt's from California, lives in Sparky Anderson's hometown, Thousand Oaks. A .321 hitter with 3 home runs. One-time Chicago Cub, Mr. Franco. This is his first time up, and he takes the ball high. Franco looking, and the count 2-0. Well, Mola's not been behind on many batters.
Sure hasn't, and in fact, he's only had 1 walk, and that was way back in the 1st inning.
He walked Todd Hundley. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Ground ball up the middle. It's through for a base hit. A screamer right through the box. And Franco on with a single. Well, that number 2 spot in the batting order yielded 3 hits for the Mets.
That's right.
3 of their 6 hits have come from that number 2 slot. Here's Olerud. He had a single his last time at bat. He's bounced to first and grounded out to second base. Great young man, John Olerud. He had that brain aneurysm when he was in college, and a lot of the clubs stayed away from him, but the Toronto Blue Jays signed him. Ground ball at the 3rd, short hop by Fryman. He can't hold it, picks it up, throw to first is late, and everybody's safe. It'll be an error charged to Travis Fryman.
Boy, something we haven't seen much there at the hot corner, but this is one of those plays you'll see Travis, an in-between hop, was kind of hesitant at first and tried to get it in the short hop and bounces away, and Olerud just beats the throw to first.
Well, that sets the table now for the Mets' toughest hitter. When you're talking about run production and home runs, Todd Hundley, the switch batting catcher, he has walked, struck out, and applied to center. And he takes a strike. And Tigers lead 8-0.
Driven in 50 runs.
Breaking ball stays outside in the count 1-1. That didn't miss by much.
Boy, that was a tough call there. That was a good off-speed pitch. Tiger pitching 19 1/3 scoreless innings. Previous streak 13 1/3. That includes 2 innings in Boston.
That is threatened right now with 2 men on and 1 man down for Todd Hundley. And he takes a high one, 2-1. Crowds beginning to gather around the premises. There are the 2 runners. Franco at second, Olerud at first base. For the New Yorkers, 8-0. Tigers in the lead. And he's wide with this from 3-1.
And we're going to see a strange thing that's happening here tonight. The Tiger bullpen is going to get active.
There's Baega waiting on deck. He's a tough hitter.
Doug Brocail up for Detroit.
Tigers got 3 in the first, 3 in the third, 1 in the fourth, 1 in the sixth. They lead 8-0. Hundley has taken Moeller to a 3-1 count. And it's a long drive to right. It's hooking foul. They got a little too far in front of that.
Well, he was looking for that fastball, and he got it. Terrible Todd. Boy, he's been a good one. Last season, 41 home runs. He drove in 112 in 150 games. Really has become an offensive threat in the National League.
150 games. That's a lot for a catch. I believe his dad caught 160 games. 3-2 the count on Todd Hundley. 2 men on, 1 man down. Tigers on top, 8-0.
Yeah, his dad was strictly a defensive catcher. Wonder where Todd got his offensive power from.
3-2 the count. There's another drive foul. You hook that one on a line drive over the bullpen. He's hit 2 very hard into foul territory.
Well, Brian challenging him here with an 8-0 lead. And rightly so. You don't want to walk the bases loaded. But he's got to come up with something that will fool Todd a little bit and still throw a strike.
Foul back.
Oh, man.
To the count on him.
Ernie, you and I were bailing out as always, baby.
Yes, sir. You know it.
Not as dumb as we look, are we? I'm going to try to catch those babies.
Another 3-2 pitch coming up to Hundley. There's a drive into right field. That'll get a run in. Rounding third, coming home is Franco. Olerud goes to third. It'll be a double for Hundley. And an 8-1 Tiger lead here in the 8th inning. He delivers with a double to knock in the first Met run of the series. That'll bring up Baega, the switch batting infielder, who's had a single for 3.
Well, this was a pitch down in the strike zone. Might have been a ball, but Hundley went down and got it, and shows you why he's had such a good year last year and again this year with a hard shot up the gap in right center field. And the Mets break the spell and get on the board. And Buddy Bell has come out and already called for Doug Brocail to come on. And hard luck, really, I think, for Brian Moeller. The base hit, then the error kind of opened the gates a little bit, but those things happen. He pitched a whale of a ball game here. Good job by Brian Moeller. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. Doug Brocail will take over for Brian Moeller, who did a whale of a job here against the Mets. Doug 1-4 with a 5.82 ERA, a couple saves, 34 innings, 18 walks, 16 strikeouts. He's allowed 1 run in his last 9 games. That covers 9 innings. He's really picked it up. Last pitch the 28th of this month in Boston, 2 innings, and gave up just 1 hit. But he has been throwing the ball a lot better.
Well, it'll be Carlos Baega to face him. Carlos with a 1 for 3. They've got the infield back now with 1 out. They'll give up a run for an out in this 8th inning situation. And a ground ball hit to Cruz. He'll go to first. The run will score to make it 8-2. Olerud crosses the plate. It'll be an RBI ground out for Baega, with Hundley holding at second base. 2 down in the 9th. And here's Carl Everett. Everett is fly to right, fly to left, and struck out. He's 0 for 3 for the night. Brocail in relief. Fouled away. Strike 1. 2 strikes on him. He was fooled a little bit by the change-up, and the Mets now have a man at second and 2 down. They are trailing 8-2. That's Hundley, who's double knocked in the first Met run. Drive to left. It'll be a base hit for Everett. Here comes Hundley around third. He'll score. Everett will pick up a double. Makes the turn and holds on, and it is an 8-3 Tiger lead.
I thought that was some good hitting by Carl Everett. He waits on this pitch. Looked like a changeup. He waited for it, went the other way, and hit it perfectly down in the corner.
Here's Gilkey, the left fielder, taking a pitch down the way, ball 1 from the reliever Brocale. Those 3 runs are charged to the starter Moeller. It's a ball in too close, 2-0 the count on him.
And of course, most of the Mets would be familiar with Brocale. Pitched in the National League last year.
Gilkey gets a base hit. Here's Everett. He's coming in to score. Here's the throw to the plate, cut off by Fryman. And the Mets have rallied for 4 here in the 8th inning to cut the Tiger lead to 8-4. The last 4 men who've come up have picked up RBIs. Hundley, Baega, Everett, and Gilkey.
Still no other action in the Tiger bullpen.
2 down with a man on, 8-4 Tigers.
Well, there's another good camera shot and a good swing by Gilkey, and another run driven in into left field.
Here's Husky, who's 0 for 3 against the starting pitcher. He fouls this one away. It got the mask of Terry Kraft, the plate umpire.
Now some action down the Tigers bullpen. Mike Myers is up.
Well, the Mets, for the first time in the series, have scored, but they've pushed in a total of 4 so far. And they're not out yet. They've got a man on and 2 down. And Husky looks at a strike. That's 2 strikes on him.
There's big Mike Myers.
Tigers got out in front early in this one. 3 runs in the first inning, added 3 in the third, 1 in the fourth, and 1 in the sixth. Now the Mets have picked up 4. Man on, 2 down, 8th inning. Low one from Brocale. Doug's allowed 1 run and 2 hits since he took over. Husky waiting, and Husky strikes out the Tigers bat in the 8th inning on top, 8-4. You're watching Tiger Game Night on FAS. Go back to John Keating.
All right, Mr. Harwell, thank you. Welcome back to our Game Night studios. I'm John Keating. It's update time. The Seattle Mariners certainly like the bloodlines when they made Jose Cruz Jr. their top pick overall a few years back. But when Cruz didn't elevate as quickly as he thought he should to the major league level, he pouted a bit and thus languished in the minor leagues. Finally called up, he has blossomed, and tonight the Mariners are cruising by San Francisco. How a team called the Mariners ended up with a moose as a mascot, or would that be Moose-cot, I will never know. The story of the night, though, the other junior, Jose Cruz Jr. A 2-run homer earlier, a 3-run rocket here, and the M's, who have won 7 of their last 10, rolling by the Giants 14-3 now as they play in the 8th inning. This interleague business is the true test of a friendship. Who says love conquers all? The Indians in Houston to take on the Astros. It's junior night in the junior circuit, which I vowed I would never say. Sandy Alomar Jr. trying to extend his hitting streak to 27, 0 for 2 thus far. Houston with first blood in this one. A run in the third as a Chucky Carr single scores Tim Bogar. Houston leads at 1-0 as they play in the 5th inning. Quickly through the scores we go. Montreal beat Toronto as Jeff Juden came up with 14 strikeouts to edge Roger Clemens and outpitch the Rocket. Cubs over Kansas City 6-1. The Royals have lost 4 in a row. Anaheim beat the Rockies at Coors Field 4-1. Chuck Finley's first win in over a month. Oakland over San Francisco as Scott Brocious came out with a 2-run game-winning homer. There's the Seattle romp. Boston leads Florida. The White Sox and Pittsburgh are scoreless in the 7th. Milwaukee and Cincinnati tied at 1 of the 7th. The Yankees lead Atlanta. Baltimore with a lead on Philadelphia. Minnesota and St. Louis scoreless in the 4th. There is the Houston update and Texas at Los Angeles later tonight. Let's go back to Tiger Stadium where the Tigers are trying to hang on in this interleague business. Let's go back to Ernie Harwell where the rain has begun to fall, guys.
All right, yes, as the rain comes down, Takashi Kashiwada takes over, 2-0, 5.12 ERA, 19 in the 3rd innings, 11 walks, 11 strikeout. His contract was purchased from Norfolk AAA of the International League, and now the umpires have called a timeout, and they're going to get the tarp brought out very quickly as it really starts to come down here in the bottom half of the 8th inning. Well, Kashiwada was all done with his warm-up tosses, and I guess the umpires don't want to take a chance and get that out there quickly and get it covered up.
Well, Jim, we saw this hanging around almost all day long, and we knew it was going to happen sooner or later. We were just hoping that the game would reach completion before the showers came. But they're with us now, and how long they're going to last, nobody knows. It might be just a little brief moment here, but the ground crew getting very busy and doing the job, and they always do a good one.
They do. Frank Fennick and his gang.
But this has really been a display of hitting tonight by the Tigers, jumping on the starter early, Bobby Jones. Bobby Higginson sort of setting the pace with that 2-run homer in the very 1st inning. And the Tigers adding a home run by Fryman and getting 3 more in the 3rd, 1 in the 4th, 1 in the 6th inning. Finally, the Mets got their 4 in the 8th. And Brian Muller left the game in favor of Brocale. And now the Tigers getting ready to bat in their 8th inning. That's the situation as the umpires have suspended play because of rain.
Well, we talked about the long ball, Ernie, last night and tonight, and the Tigers really smoking that pill. Bobby Higginson, 4 in a row, 3 last night and then 1 tonight. Here it is, off starter Bobby Jones, and again the pitch up and away from him. Bobby really steps into the ball and gets all of it. This is Travis Fryman right after that, and he hit a towering drive into left field for a base hit. And Big Bob on a 3-2 count. Bob Hamlin smoked it to right field off of Bobby Jones, the starter for Deck. And then Damian Easley, again off of Bobby Jones, a towering drive, left center field, just gets in the lower deck, but nonetheless a home run, another home run for the Detroit Tigers. Then Curtis Pride, my goodness, I'm not sure anybody knew that Curtis could hit him this far, this quickly, because that got out of here in a hurry. But, you know, we talked about the weather situation, Ernie, and as we've talked about so many times, when it's humid, it just seems like the ball just really travels, and it did last night and tonight.
Yeah, there was a university professor over in Cleveland many, many years ago. He did a survey of balls, how hard they were hit, and he figured out a 400-foot drive went about 40 feet further on a hot, humid day than it would under ordinary conditions. So
well, it showed there the last 2 nights, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has taken off out of here. And
well, Ernie, I kind of like the way the Tigers came into this Interleague series. I think they were a little embarrassed the way they played the first go-around, don't you? And they really came into this series, I thought, with a lot of confidence.
Well, they did, because they didn't like the way they'd been playing, and they came out swinging, and it has paid off for them so far. Let's go back to John Keating.
Ernie, thank you. Just as Kashiwada enters the game for the New York Mets, it quickly became apparent that too much Wada was the problem at the Tiger Stadium. So the grounds crew quickly came out. They have covered the field. I'm not sure that it's going to be a rain that will hang around for a while. We got a good dousing here in the Detroit metropolitan area earlier today, but the skies have been sort of intermittent with clouds. Not that I have a great degree of background in meteorology, but it just, from a layman's point of view, does not look like the rain is going to wait us out too much longer, and so hopefully we can complete the Tigers' victory over the Mets, and they're up now 8-4 as we play in the bottom of the 9th inning. Let's take a break. We'll come right back. Game night continues here on Pass. We are in a rain delay in Game 2 of the series between the New York Mets and the Tigers at the corner, and we talked about my background in meteorology. I know enough only to be dangerous. I know that when you get to one of these radar maps, if you see blobs, it's a sign of rain. I see no blobs, so that leads me to believe that the rain will not last long, and we will be able to complete tonight's game involving the Tigers and the Mets as round 2 of interleague play continues in Major League Baseball. We'll bring in Ernie Harwell and Jim Price. Let's talk a little bit, guys, about the American League All-Star designees, those guys who will start, and I think a lot of us feel that Justin Thompson will probably be the guy who will represent the Tigers when the midsummer break rolls around in the next week or so.
We don't know about that, but I think a lot of people think that's a good idea, and certainly it might happen. It's up to manager Joe Torre to make his selection, and when Justin pitched here against the Yankees, I think Joe must have been impressed because he did give a fine performance. Well, the All-Star game's a lot of fun, Jim. I think, you know, the fans get to pick the players, and I really feel that's the way it should be.
Absolutely. You know, it's the fans' game, and they should pick him. But when Joe Torre was here last week with the Yankees, he had talked about, you know, it'd be tough to take Tony Clark, John and Ernie, because of so many other great players at first base, you know. And he mentioned Omar Olivares and Justin Thompson. So, but I think most people think it'll be Justin Thompson.
Who would have guessed that Omar Olivares, I mean, who has led a rather checkered career. I mean, he's finally found a home in Detroit, but I think he's been classified as sort of a journeyman pitcher until this year. Who would have guessed a guy like that would find his way to at least all-star consideration? I think that says a lot about the resurrection of Omar's career here in Detroit.
And I think, too, John, it says a lot about the Tigers. You know, they provide him a good defense this year, and that has made him a lot better pitcher, made him probably a little more confident. He's got a chance to pitch on a regular rotation, something maybe he didn't have before. And all those things add up to a more effective pitcher.
I think Rick Adair should get some credit, too, because getting to know Rick and what he teaches and what he preaches, if you talk to any of these Tiger pitchers, they'll be the first to tell you Rick Adair has helped them.
Let's take a look. I think we have the list of American League All-Star starters that we will see on, I believe it's July 10th. Might be July 9th. We have July 8th, I'm told, a week from today. I should know that. Tino Martinez, who has bounced from the Seattle Mariners, had a bit of a rocky start when he got to New York, but he has certainly come on as a member of the New York Yankees, and he'll be the starter at first base. Jim just touched upon it. There's a whole passel of guys who could merit consideration as an all-star first baseman in the American League.
I think that's a good selection. Tino, as you referred, had a little trouble at first filling the shoes of the great Mattingly, but he's done it well. He's got a big home run bat. He's knocked in a lot of runs. He handles first base, and I think the other guys are just going to have to get in line. There are a lot of good ones. Frank Thomas, Palmeiro, you can go right down the line. McGuire, and just keep on talking. Tony Clark's another one. But I think that's a good choice, don't you?
Tino sold me in that series against the Yankees. He was awesome. You know, seemed like every time he was up, he hit the ball hard somewhere.
Interesting to note that Roberto Alomar, who absorbed so much flack, and I think largely deservedly because of that incident with the umpire last fall, was still worthy of consideration of the All-Star team and voted as such by the fans who determine who the American League starters are going to be.
I think that's what you have to remember, that he was voted in by the fans. So apparently it didn't bother them too much, the fact that he was involved with that incident with Hirschbeck, the umpire.
Let me throw something by you real quick, and we've touched on this before, John. I like the idea of the fans picking the team, but I also like the idea of the players picking a team also. Why not expand that roster and actually pick two teams?
Well, then you get into a situation where guys give up their 3 days off for the honor, and not every player considers it an honor. Some players consider it a burden.
Well, that's too
and
bad.
Then there's pressure on the manager more than there already is to try to make sure that everybody plays a little bit. And I think it's kind of an awkward situation for whoever is managing the two teams in the All-Star game.
I always like the idea of maybe a 3-tier selection. Let the fans have their vote. Then let the managers have a vote, the managers and the coaches. And then let the media have a vote. And then you weigh those three, you give them certain values, and you pick one team. Because I remember when the players picked the teams, they didn't do any better than the fans. They played favorites. They picked guys that they liked and they had good years the year before, just like the fans do. And I think no matter what system you use, there are going to be a lot of gripes about it. And that's what makes it fun, because everybody's got an idea about how to do it and who should be selected.
And we know that the media are really considered the experts in all of this.
Well, that's...
well, you said that.
Cal Ripken Jr. will start at third base. I guess that's not a shock to anybody, and he's a guy that everybody wants to see play in these kinds of things as long as he decides he wants to continue playing.
You agree with that, Jim? I do.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's the Iron Man of all time, and, he's just a treat for all of us to watch, John.
Let's take a look quickly. We won't go through them position by position, but if we can call up the rest of the American League starters. Dave Justice, who came over from the Atlanta Braves in the offseason to the Cleveland Indians, has been voted as a starter, but he is on the disabled list. Brady Anderson, who will represent the Orioles, and we'll see him come into Tiger Stadium this weekend. Pudge Rodriguez, Edgar Martinez from the Seattle Mariners will be the DH. Seattle Mariners placing 3 guys on the starting all-star roster. I think that says a lot about the strength and the popularity of baseball in the great Northwest. Ernie, I know you've done some games there. It's really turned around from a situation where the Kingdom was a fairly dreadful place, and suddenly baseball lives again, thanks in part to the likes of Ken Griffey Jr. and Jay Buhner.
Well, when we first started going out there, Jim will remember that baseball was about the 5th popular sport out there.
Right.
And it certainly made a lot of inroads, and they have filled the old ballpark out there. They've got a good team. Everybody's excited about baseball in Seattle, and it's a wonderful thing to see. And it's another illustration how those things go in cycles, and I think we're going to have the same thing happen here. Our cycle will come for the Tigers. We'll see all the Tiger Stadium and the new ballpark fill up, just like it has in the past, once the Tigers get it going. And I think it's already having a little momentum. The Tigers are appealing to a lot of fans now. They like the way these guys play. They like the brand of baseball that Buddy Bell is managing. And we're going to see a turnaround a lot quicker, I think, than most people anticipated.
Yeah, and with the new stadium on the horizon, people are talking about it. John, every place you go, Tiger fans really are talking about this ball club. And, Seattle went through some tough times, but a lot of people look at Seattle, a lot of people look at Cleveland, and I think Randy Smith is on that program to do the same thing right here.
Well, it's one of the greatest sights a baseball fan can see, that they are pulling the tarp off the field at Tiger Stadium, and it looks like we are going to get the remainder of this one in. While I've got you guys, while we have a moment here, I'd still like to sort of pick your brains, if I can, about your degree of enthusiasm for interleague play. And Ernie, particularly you've seen just about everything that one could see in baseball. A, did you ever think that this day would come where we'd be seeing regular season interleague games? And B, how do you feel about it?
Well, A, I thought the owners would resist it. I didn't think it would happen. And B, I am enthusiastic about it. I liked it from the beginning. I knew it was a departure from the tradition. But I think, I'm not one of these good old days guys. I think baseball today is just as good as it ever was. I think the players are bigger and stronger, hit the ball farther. I think we've got more players playing in the major leagues. That's a given fact, because instead of 16 teams now, you've got 28. That means 25 times 12 is that many more players that are in the major leagues than they were back in the 40s and the 50s. But the baseball is still the same great game that it's always been, and it's always going to be a great one.
Say, Ernie Harwell is the hippest 79-year-old person that we know. He refuses to be caught back in the good old days, or these so-called good old days of baseball, and is ready to roll with the punches.
Well, Jim Price is older than I am, but he just won't admit it.
That's right. I probably act older.
I want to see his plastic surgeon because I'd like to make an appointment rather soon.
I want to see his hairdresser. That's what I'm envious of.
Yeah, I'd like to find some of that here. Guys, thanks. Stand by. We'll rejoin you shortly, and we'll get the rest of this sucker in. You're watching Tigers game night on Pass. The rain delay appears to be over. We'll come right back. The Tigers and Mets will finish this one up when we continue in a moment. 8-4 to the Tigers' lead over the Mets as we play in the bottom of the 8th inning. Just getting ready to start the bottom of the 8th when the rains began to fall at the corner, and it looks like they will pull the tarp off the field, and we will get this one in. A couple of notes while we have just a moment. Earlier today, the Nevada Athletic Commission decided that they would suspend the right to fight of Mike Tyson, that in light of that horrendous biting incident in his heavyweight rematch against Evander Holyfield on Saturday night in Las Vegas. The length of the suspension laid upon Tyson will not be determined until next Tuesday when the full commission will meet. That is 1 week from today. Meanwhile, the $29 million that Tyson was to be paid for his fight against Evander Holyfield, that purse has been upheld by the Nevada Athletic Commission until they determine what they want to do with Mike Tyson. 3 New York newspapers are reporting that Mike Tyson will be suspended from boxing for 1 year. Again, that's from 3 New York newspapers, but it will be a week from tonight before we know for sure how long, if at all, Tyson will be suspended from boxing. One other note, Ted Nolan, who was only the coach of the year in the National Hockey League this season after leading the surprising Buffalo Sabres to a lofty playoff position, has been told by the Sabres that he will not return as their coach. Nolan's contract expired. There were conflicting reports as to whether or not he would return to coach the Buffalo Sabres again in light of his status as coach of the year, but the Sabres have determined that they will go in another direction. The bickering between Nolan and the front office in Buffalo had become too much for them to bear, and so they are looking for a new head coach, and Ted Nolan is looking for a new job. And I would think that once the Red Wings determine what they will do in terms of their head coaching position, whether or not that includes Scotty Bowman, they are watching this situation closely because Ted Nolan becomes a very high-profile candidate for them indeed. Let's go through baseball scores if we can. Montreal beat the Blue Jays in Toronto this afternoon 2-1. Jeff Juden, the story in this one. 14 strikeouts for Juden as he outdueled Roger Clemens. Clemens trying to win his 13th game of the year, but Montreal said, and they win it 2-1. Cubs over Kansas City, 6-1 this afternoon. A big day at the plate for Sammy Sosa. Anaheim over the Rockies at Denver, 4-1. Chuck Finley's first win in more than a month for the Halos. Scott Brocious came up with a 2-run homer in the 8th inning, helping the A's beat San Diego 8-6 in this game. Tony Gwynn had 4 hits and crept over the 400 mark. He made an out in his last at-bat, so he has slipped below that mark, but Tony Gwynn continues to flirt with 400. Jose Cruz Jr., the story at the Kingdome tonight. He's had a 2-run homer and a 3-run homer, and the M's are blasting San Francisco 15-4 now as they play in the 9th inning. Boston with a 5-2 lead on the Marlins. That's in the 7th inning. The Red Sox have been playing horrible baseball, but they're winning tonight over the Marlins. The White Sox and Pittsburgh playing at Three River Stadium, and the Bucks lead this one 2-0. That now in the 8th inning. Cincinnati leads Milwaukee 8-1 in the 8th. A preview, perhaps, of postseason play. Finds the Atlanta Braves in the Bronx taking on the Yankees. The Braves lead it 2-1 as they play in the 7th inning. The Yanks trying for their 6th consecutive victory over Atlanta. Philadelphia at Baltimore at Camden Yards, and the O's lead the Phils 2-1. That's now in the 6th inning. St. Louis with a 2-0 lead on Minnesota as they play in the 5th inning. Cleveland in Houston as interleague play continues, and the Indians have come back, and they lead the Astros 3-2 now in the 5th inning. Texas in Los Angeles The Rangers have been struggling after a quick start. They have lost 10 of their last 13, and that one will be getting underway in about a half hour or so. Tigers lead the Mets 8-4. Now in the bottom of the 8th inning, and I'm sorry, what will we do? All right, let's go back to Tiger Stadium, back to Ernie Harwell and Jim Price.
All right, John, the Mets have taken the field now. The ground crew has done its job well as usual, and we're about ready to resume action with the Tigers on top 8-4 over the Mets. And Jim, you were telling us about this new pitcher when the rains came.
Kashiwada, he pitched in the ball game last night. His contract was purchased from Norfolk AAA of the International League on May 1st. Purchased for cash considerations by the Mets organization from the Yomiuri Giants of the Japanese League April 3rd. He's 2-0 on the year with a 5.12 ERA, 19 and a third innings, 11 walks, 11 strikeouts. Last night, he pitched one inning, gave up a couple hits in that ball game, and Ernie, it looked to me like not a hard thrower, but liked to move the ball around, change speeds, and so forth. So the new pitcher, you're looking at him.
And last night he came in the 8th inning, the same inning he's entering the game tonight, and he pitched to the first man he pitched to is the same man he's facing right now, Tony Clark. Tony got a single, and then Miller came in to bat for Hamlin and hit a home run. But after that, he got him out 1, 2, 3 and struck out 2 of the 3. So well, he settled down and got him out.
Here come the umpires, so maybe the young left-hander is just about ready to go. But the rain, field needed the rain. You know, it's been so hot and humid, and this ball field takes a big pounding. A lot of activities here at Tiger Stadium with different camps and so forth that are going on, and clinics that the Tigers put on. So, and with the daily beating of batting practice and early workouts, it really takes its toll. But it's a great old field, and it really is a field of dreams here, Ernie.
It's a great one, and one break that the ground crew gets now, there's no football played here like they used to be.
Yeah, that's right.
They can work on the field a lot earlier in the winter and the spring than they once did. Here's Bobby Higginson watching the action now as Tony Clark steps up, and Tony facing the left-hander from Tokyo, Mr. Kashiwada. Takashi tying his shoelace, getting ready to pitch to Tony. 8 runs, 11 hits, 1 error for Detroit. The Mets have 4 runs, 9 hits, and they've made no errors. We're in the last half of the 8th inning at Tiger Stadium. There's a high foul off the first base. Here comes Olerud over near the seats and makes the catch for the out. 1 pitch and 1 down.
I notice Mike Myers continues to throw in the Tiger bullpen. I just wonder if he may not be the pitcher of choice against the Mets in the 9th inning, Ern.
Well, that's something a manager always has to face, I guess, when you have a rain delay, whether it's a starter or reliever that you're relieving, and I would leave him in there or not.
I would think Mike would be the man.
Bob Hamlin at the bat. He had a 3-run homer earlier, and he fouls this one away.
Hey, I'll tell you something else, Ernie, about Bob Hamlin. He hangs in there real well against left-handers.
He has certainly done the job since he came up from Toledo. In this game, Bob has fouled to third, hit his 7th home run, and applied to center. Kashiwada on the mound. And delivers a strike. That's 2 quick ones on Hamlin. Bobby Jones started. Lyle in the 5th inning. Acevedo in the 7th, and Kashiwada here in the 8th inning. There's a low one in the count, 1-2 on Hamlin. Tigers got off and running early with a 3-run first inning, and they have led all the way in this one. The Mets scored here in the first half of the 8th. They got 4. 1-2 pitch to Hamlin. And he got him on a big hook toward the outside. 2 down.
Well, this is one of those times he didn't hang in there real well. Well, this is a nasty hook. See him drop down. A big sweeping curveball, kind of like an old high school curveball. And Big Bob, whoa, really pulled out on that one. He was long gone, Ern.
Tigers will send up Casanova, who struck out twice and flied to right. He's the only Tiger without a hit. And their hit total is 11. He looks at a strike. Hunter has 2 singles. Fryman has a home run and a single. Pride has a home run and a single. Those are the Tigers with more than 1 hit. Strike 1, the count on Casanova. There's a fly ball lifted into left center. Gilkey drifts over and makes the catch, and the Tigers go easy in the 8th. We go to the 9th inning. Detroit beating the Mets 8-4.
Every guy that I face, I feel like I can get out. He wants those RBIs as bad as anybody. I want the out as bad as anybody. You just got to trust your stuff and go at it. Mix it up and keep them off balance as much as possible. I'm not going to say strikeouts aren't fun. I just listen to that little voice that comes in, you know, says, do this, I do it.
Home team coverage like never before. It's Tigers Game Night on Pass. The most games, the best coverage, and Game Night on Pass with John Keating starting 30 minutes before game time. Celebrate Independence Day on Pass Sports. Thursday, the Orioles and Tigers battle. Then Friday at 4, it's a doubleheader at the corner. Tigers Game Night on Pass Sports.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy!
What a play, Ozzie Smith. Watch and enjoy. Nothing to it.
Hi, I'm Ozzie Smith, the new host of This Week in Baseball.
Join Ozzie each week for an insider's look at our national pastime, plus all the great plays and bloopers you love. Also new this season, special reports from the one, the only, Tommy Lasorda.
So join me, Ozzie Smith, as we get started on the next 20 years of This Week in Baseball.
Now, back to the swing shift on Pass.
Grandstands located in the lower left field at Tiger Stadiums offers you a grandstand seat, a hot dog or pizza slice, and a Coke for only $8 and is available at every Tiger home game. In addition, you'll receive a free newspaper, compliments of the Detroit News. For tickets, call 810-25-TIGER. Mike Myers takes over on the mound for the Tigers. Big Mike has appeared in 18 of the Tigers' last 26 games. 0-4 in the year with a 5.56 ERA, a couple saves, 22 2/3 innings, 13 walks, 22 strikeouts. In his past 21st batters faced, they are 3 for 18. That's a 166 average with a homer and 2 walks. This is his 44th appearance for the Tigers. We take a look at Todd Jones. Big Mike last pitched in Boston, 1/3 of an inning, 1 walk, and no hits.
And Lopez, the number 9 hitter, will be the first man to face him for the Mets in the 9th inning. And he looks at the ball high. Lopez with a bounce to first twice, and the middle time had a single. Brocail, the second Tiger pitcher, went 2/3 of an inning, allowed 1 run, 2 hits, and struck out 1. Here's a ball high from Myers at 2-0. All 4 Met runs came last inning. RBIs by Hundley, Baega, Everett, and Gilkey. He delivers a strike, 2-1. Finale of the series here tomorrow. It'll be an afternoon affair. Hope you'll be out at the corner. 2-1 pitch, cut on and laced to right down in the corner. Chased by Higginson. Lopez goes for 2. Bobby turns and fires it on 1 hop, but not in time. That's the double. The second hit by the number 9 hitter, Lopez.
Well, Ernie, the Mets came to life in the last inning, putting 4 on the board, and now they lead off here in the 9th with a double. So things have awoken in that Met dugout.
They certainly have, and here's their fine leadoff man, Lance Johnson, who's been stymied in the series, and you just wonder how long they can keep him off the bases. Myers on the mound, Lopez on second base, nobody down. Tigers lead by 4, 8-4 in the 9th. It's the ball outside on Lance Johnson. Hartke on deck with Franco due up next. Hartke used as a pinch hitter last night and then stayed into play. There's a ball high, 2-0.
Rick Adair, pitching coach on his way out, does not like what he has seen so far. A double to lead off the inning, and now 2 pitches up in the strike zone. Boy, this is the man you want to challenge. If you can't strike him out, make him hit the ball, at least get an out.
Yep, the Mets are looking for runners, and the Tigers' job is to keep them off the bases.
Leading by 4, you don't want to put anybody else on.
2-0, the count on Lance Johnson. And there's a strike on the outside corner, 2-1. Mike Myers on the mound trying to close it out for the Tigers. There's a strike on the corner.
How many times have you seen that where a pitcher will fall behind and then he makes 2 perfect pitches like that? Baby.
2-2. That's the count on Johnson. Well, let's see what he'll give him now on this 2-2 delivery. Sidearm curve and missed the inside corner. The count goes full. Well, what do you think now, Jim? What's he going to give him?
I tell you, the pitch he has the most confidence in, and that's probably the fastball.
Man on second, nobody down. Tigers lead 8-4, ninth inning. Ground ball past the mound to Cruz. He gloves it for the first. Got him on the third. Goes a Lopez. Man on third, 1 down. And Hartke will be inserted now to bat for Franco. Jason came in to bat for Baega in the 7th inning of last night's game, and then stayed in to play in the infield. He was 0 for 2. Tigers will play their infield back now. They'll give up a run at this game in exchange for an out. They lead it 8-4. Jason Hartke at the bat. And he looks at a strike. Man at third is Lopez. It's a ball outside, a 1-1. Well, the Tigers can't be too concerned about Mr. Lopez. Bobby Valentine and his coach, Mr. Benedict, right there next to him. 1-1, that's the count. And it is a 2-1 count on Hartke. Oh, they're making Mike throw a few pitches here in the relief stand. There's a strike, the count even 2-2. Buddy Bell looking for 2 more outs. Eight 4 Tigers in the 9th. Got him, and a 1 to go. It'll be a Tiger victory. Myers racks up his first strikeout.
Well, Mike Myers has bounced back after getting that leadoff double, but here is a good, looked like a fastball off the plate, and Hartke decided he better take a hack at it and could not get it, but that might have been another ball.
Olerud will be the batter with 2 down and the man at third, and he takes a curve. That's ball 1. Olerud's had a single in 4 trips. He was also safe on the error by Fryman. And he scored a run in that 4-run 8th inning for the Mets. The Tigers lead them 8-4 in the ninth. 1 to go. There's a strike. He got the fastball over. 1-1 on John. Well, the Mets have almost caught up with the Tigers in the hit column. The Tigers have 11. The Mets have 10. There's a line drive to center. It's going to be in for a base hit by Olerud to make it 8-5. Olerud driving Lopez in from third. And the hits are even, 11 on each side.
And Mr. Buddy Bell out. Well, that was an outstanding piece of hitting by John Olerud. He almost looked like he knew the breaking ball was coming and went down and got it. He showed you why he's such a good hitter. But this is not that bad a pitch, but he's a good low ball hitter as we take a look at Olerud. Well, look at the concentration, the pitch. That was the one before. Let's take a look. Here it is. Take a look at his swing. Good swing. See how he went out and got the ball? That was a breaking ball and not in a bad location. Lines it into center field.
Well, Todd Jones will take over. Let 1 man on, 2 down in the ninth, and he'll be facing the switch hitting catcher Hundley.
Todd owns a 3.16 ERA in his past 26 games. He's 1-3 on the year with a 3.62 ERA. He has really come on fine for the Tigers. 9 saves, 32 and 1/3 innings, 26 walks, 30 strikeouts. Now, Todd last pitched the 27th in the Boston series. That's where he picked up his 9th save. He went 1 inning, did not give up any runs, hits, or errors. There are no errors behind him, and he walked 1 in that stint in Boston. But Todd has been throwing exceptionally well for the Tigers. Good fastball, an outstanding curveball, and he has one of the better arms on the Tigers staff. There's no doubt about that. So Todd Jones takes over. Pitched, of course, with Houston last year. Young man from Alabama.
Well, Mike Myers has exactly the same record so far that Brocail compiled. 2/3 of an inning, 1 run, 2 hits, no walks, and a 1 strikeout. So the Mets down to the final out. They have pulled up to within 3 of the Tigers. It is 8-5 in the 9th inning. And Todd Hundley, their big run producer at the plate, he has walked, struck out, fly to center, and driven home a run with a double. 2 out, 1 on. Fastball low, blocked to the right by Casanova, ball 1. So Moeller started, Brocail in the 8th, Myers in the 9th, Jones in the 9th inning. And the Mets also have used their 4 pitchers tonight. There's Olerud at first. And there's a drive to right. The Mets won't give up. Olerud turning second, heads to third, and Hundley is on at first. And that brings to the plate the tying run.
This is not what I wanted to hear you say, Ernie Harwell.
Man on first and a man on third. 1 run in. 3 hits in the inning, and the dangerous Carlos Baeger at the plate. Two out, 2 on. Baeger drove in a run with a bounce out in the 8th inning. He's also had a single. He's had a single in 4 turns at bat. The Mets now have a hit total of 12. There's a strike to Carlos Baeger. Well, the Mets have creeped up on the Tigers and made it exciting here at the 9th inning. 8-5. The Tigers hold the lead. Runners at the corners, 2 men down. 5 runs knocked in by 5 different Met batters. Terry Kraft calling time at the plate.
Well, this is where Todd Jones wants to keep the ball away from Carlos Baerga. That short right field porch is awful inviting, and you would think that Jones, with his good arm, would try to give him hard stuff away, but we will wait and see. Late inning situations. Boy, he has been real tough for this ball club. 359. That's not good news for Tiger fans.
And this is about as late as you can get in a late inning situation. 2 out in the ninth. 2 men on. Tying right at the plate for the Mets. It's up to Jones. Strike 1 pitch to Baerga. Fouled away. He's got 2 strikes on him.
Well, I think Carlos did him a favor that time. That pitch was low and out of the strike zone.
Olerud at third. Hundley at first. He just picked up his second hit. Todd Jones trying to close it out here at the corner. Strike 2 pitch. In the dirt. Good stop by Casanova.
I have to applaud that play. That's a real good play. That ball bounced, looked like it was 3/4 the way up, and Cassie made a good quick hand play on it.
One-two pitch to Baerga. There's a fly ball to left. It's going to drop in for a base hit. Olerud will score. Hundley stops at second. And it is now a 2-run lead for the Tigers, 8-6. 3 straight singles by the Mets here with 2 down in the 9th inning. 4 hits in the inning. And they've got the tying runs on the bases.
And Rick Adair, the pitching coach, out to talk to his right-hander. Well, these New York Mets, they finally woke up into the 8th inning here at Tiger Stadium, where they scored 4. They've added 2 here, and this is looked like a fastball away. He didn't hit it real well. He kind of sliced it into left field right in front of Curtis Pride to score another run. Pinch runner at first base, Sean Gilbert.
Everett at the bat, and he takes one outside. Everett is flied out twice, struck out, and then doubled. It's low. Two on, 2 out. Tigers lead by 2, 8-6. 9th inning. Ball 3.
This is not a good situation. Todd Jones has put himself in a tough spot here.
Gilkey on deck. And this is what's known as a creeping terror.
Oh, boy. Now he's got to come up with some good pitches, and the favor goes to the hitter, but you don't want to walk the bases loaded as we take a look at Dan Maselli now up for Detroit.
And he walked him. That will load the bases and put the tie-breaking runs on. Jones issues a walk. And now the veteran Bernard Gilkey at the plate. Gilkey has popped to second, flied to right, bounced to short, and had a single. And the Mets are trailing 8-6. 9th inning, 2 down. The bases are loaded. And he cuts and misses. Fasten your seatbelts. Strike one count. Strike two. He got a curve over.
Boy, that was a dandy curveball that time.
Hundley at third. Gilbert at second. Everett at first base for the Mets. Strike two count. Low. 1-2 on Gilkey.
See, the Mets are in this ball game. Big gap in left center. Brian Hunter shaded towards right. There you get a look at it.
8-6. The Tigers on top. Bases loaded for the Mets. 2 out. 1-2. The count on Bernard Gilkey. And it's just off the corner. That was a close one. 2-2.
I'll tell you, when a batter takes a pitch like that in this situation, you got to believe they're just completely pulled. Now watch Gilkey as he kind of, see, he wanted to go for it. It looked like a pretty good pitch.
2-2 pitch. Ball 3.
Well, I'm a little bit surprised there, 2-2, going with his breaking ball when the fastball is his best pitch.
Husky waiting on deck. Bases loaded. 2 down, 9th inning. Tigers lead 8-6. Gilkey fouls it away. The tension holds.
Well, this is not a good situation either because the runners are off with the pitch. You know, a tweener, and this is a different ball game here. Good speed at second and at first base for the Mets.
Fouled away. The Tigers led in this game 8-0. Now they lead 8-6.
Well, something happened in that 8th inning, and there was an error that kind of opened up the floodgates a little bit. And since then, the Met Ball Club has been a different offensive team.
To the count. High fly, right field. Higginson got it, and the Tigers squeak it out. Holding on, and the